Let's start tonight in South Africa, where more senior public figures are coming forward with allegations of interference in the running of South Africa's government by the Gupta family. The scandal, however, does come at a time when the ruling African National Congress is at a very crucial stage. Local elections are coming up later on in the year after May. It will be facing fairly stiff opposition from the opposition Democratic Alliance in Johannesburg and the capital, Pretoria. However, as he answered questions in Parliament on Thursday, Mr. Zuma didn't have the air of a man afraid of his political future. This week, the Gupta family has also denied ever trying to influence political appointments. They say they're victims of a politically motivated plot.
My question to you, Mr. President, whether the Gupta family has ever offered anybody a cabinet position in your term of office as president, or is Minister Jonas in fact lying? Because if in fact he is, or he's not, is the president willing to take accountability for the decision and resign in front of the people of South Africa?
If Jonas says he was offered by the Guptas, I think you'll be well placed to ask the Guptas or Jonas. Don't ask me. Where do I come in? I had no business with that.
I had no business with that indeed. That's the defense from the president. Let's head over live to Johannesburg, where Angela Kopel, of course, is live with more data on this story. Angela, good to see you. Let's start with the basics. For a lot of us outside South Africa who are not familiar with this story, what's the background to this relationship between Mr. Zuma on one hand and the Gupta family on the other?
Well, according to one of the Gupta brothers, he says that the family has known the president since the year 2000. They also claim, quite interestingly, that the family has had a very strong, if not stronger, relationship with Zuma's predecessor, Thabo Mbeki, which kind of implies that perhaps the Gupta family, and they are members of the ANC anyway, have a party relationship and that they know many of the senior leaders. So since 2000, there's also been a range of Zuma family members who have been involved in Gupta-owned businesses. And those are the controlled businesses and the owned businesses since then. So either that's at a management or a board level, but in a range of industries. So this relationship seems like an ANC political party relationship involving all the senior members as well as the Zuma family and specifically the president.
Indeed. This weekend, the ANC's National Executive Committee will be meeting for about 3 days or so. How is this dispute likely to play out there?
Well, it did start a little earlier this afternoon. It started off fairly sedately and according to script. President Zuma delivered his political report, and we were told that the Guptas weren't specifically on the agenda and they wouldn't be discussed, but that the economy was on the agenda. However, there are a couple of scenarios that could play out here. The NEC could recall the president for bringing the party into disrepute. The NEC could, of course, censure the president, but he'll walk away with a slap on his wrist. Or they could establish a commission of inquiry not led by the president to investigate these allegations. Finally, the NEC could say that it will start enforcing its code of conduct about MPs and their families doing businesses with state entities. However, the spat, and this is one of the topics of conversation, the spat between the South African Finance Minister, Pravin Gordhan, and the country's Priority Crime Investigations Unit, the Hawk, continues. The minister missed the deadline for responses and hasn't responded yet, and the Hawks haven't responded either. So the public fight between these two is seen as a microcosm of the stresses in this country's political system at the moment. And it goes back to President Zuma's sacking of Nhlanhla Nene in December last year. The fight took a twist this week, with Deputy Finance Minister Jonas admitting that an influential family had offered him the finance minister's position in December, and it played out in Parliament on Thursday, when the president denied any knowledge of Jonas being offered Nene's job. It's affecting investor sentiment.
Yeah, as you can see with the rand trading the way that it's traded through the course of the past week, they're extremely fearful of the potential outcome of a political influence that might derail economic policy going forward, which is why I think they are super sensitive.
It's not only the local and foreign investors who are concerned.
If you look at the ministries fighting each other, it shows that we are a state in chaos. People, they normally say we are not a banana republic, but I think we are a banana republic right now.
The meeting this weekend is a critical one. Analysts want a very clear message.
So a positive result for me would be one where the ANC comes up very strongly against the kind of influence that we're seeing right now, and indicates to the rest of the economy that it will not be tolerated and that there will be consequences for those that are found to be delving into that political private sector interplay.
On a political level, it appears to outsiders that there is no accountability.
People are not accountable. People, they're becoming accountable to their political parties than to the nation. So I think is where we see this crisis.
Whatever the outcome of this weekend's NEC, the build-up and all the chaos that's happened in the political arena has had an impact in the long term. And any decisions that are made have to be taken with the view that South Africa comes first. I'm Angelo Coppola for CCTV in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Right, then back to you, Angelo. The Guptas, of course, have put up a statement in their defense in a paper they have a fairly controlling interest in today, the New Age. They've defended themselves against these allegations that we've seen from the Deputy Finance Minister, from members of the ANC, and now, of course, from the ESCOM chairman. Is the data they put in that statement accurate in any way?
Raman, let's just take half a step back quickly. The New Age is owned by the Guptas, and in fact, besides the double-page spread, the 2 pages of advertising that they support all the allegations or defend themselves, there was another 3.5 pages of editorial. So 5.5 pages of advertorial to try and defend themselves and, of course, to defend President Zuma. It's lots of data, but you know what they say about data, you can make anything happen with data. But they do declare their interests, which are in mining, engineering, ICT, media and investments, and they say that they currently provide around 1% of Eskom's coal, and it could go up to 5% if the optimum deal closes. Of course, there's no question that they're employing 5,000 people, so it's a synopsis. What's missing here is the board composition of the Gupta-owned group companies. It doesn't talk about the Zuma family involvement, for example. It doesn't talk about timing of deals. And it doesn't mention the fact that the DMR Minister Zwane went to Switzerland to help close a deal. A big deal, a $2.5 billion deal, in fact, which is unheard of in mining circles. So in synopsis, it's a good PR move. Don't know if anyone's going to believe it. Rama?
Indeed, we'll leave it there for the time being and see exactly how the ANC NEC meeting plays out over the weekend. That's Angelo Coppola live in Johannesburg. He'll be keeping tabs on that development and plenty more in that country.